With the newest Halloween movie now in theaters, it's time to rank all 11 Halloween movies from worst to best, so let's get started. Hey everybody, my name is Justin and I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies too, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below along with that bell notification so you guys don't miss any ranking videos, movie reviews, Funko Pop videos, whatever it may be. Make sure to join the discussion down below. Today we're going to rank all 11, yes 11 Halloween movies from worst to best. We're going to include the Thorn trilogy, the Rob Zombie movies, the Season of the Witch movie which had nothing to do with Michael Myers at all, and the new David Gordon Green directed Halloween movie that just came out in theaters, which I thought was a really cool movie. So we're going to include that in here. Before we get started, make sure to leave your ranking down below. How would you rank all 11 of these films from worst to best? So let's start this video off with number 11, Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection is the clear choice as the worst Halloween movie. It took the prior movie, H2O, and the final kill, supposedly that Laurie Strode had killed Michael Myers, and they said, nope, you didn't kill Michael Myers, you killed an innocent paramedic, and Michael Myers is still on the loose. So right there, that's a really bad movie sin. Then we had Laurie Strode killed off in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. She was killed off in a very mediocre way, and it killed off the storyline of Laurie Strode and everything we got in the Thorn trilogy. It got rid of all that and killed off Laurie Strode in a really poor way, and I thought that was really stupid early on. So right off the bat, I really didn't care about anything that happened after Laurie Strode's death, because all of the Halloween movies has been about Michael Myers killing his family. And so after he's done with killing his family, what's left for him to do? I don't really care. I want to see you kill your family, not some random people who are trying to film a show inside the old Michael Myers house. And we have Busta Rhymes doing martial arts, and the whole movie is just a complete mess. Coming in at number 10 is Halloween 2, 2009, directed by Rob Zombie. This is another poorly executed movie. I really enjoyed the first Halloween movie directed by Rob Zombie, so I was looking forward to this. This is more brutal than the first film. It's still very crass and disgusting. Everything has to be dirty and disgusting from every single character. And there's not many likable characters in here. Anything that, you know, had likable characteristics from the first Rob Zombie movie is gone in this movie. Laurie Strode is completely different. Dr. Sam Loomis is a money-hungry person who wants to sell his events and encounters with Michael Myers. He wants to put him on a book tour. That's like not what we've got for Sam Loomis before. So there's nothing I like about these characters. And then we have Michael Myers having this, you know, visions of his mom and his white horse, and Laurie Strode is connected to that as well. So she's having these visions. It's kind of trying to do what some of the Thorn trilogy did, mixing it with like some of the second Halloween movie. I really did not buy into it. I thought this was a poorly done movie. And then he talked at the end. He yelled die at the end of Halloween 2. Coming at number 9 is Halloween 5. The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween 4 ended on a pretty cool note. It had this twist that Jamie Lloyd had got the powers from Michael Myers, and she was doing things that Michael Myers has done before. Sorry. Let's talk about Halloween 5. Sorry. Halloween 5. It could have went in a cool direction, but instead it had made Jamie Lloyd mute, and she was able to see what Michael Myers was doing. They didn't go the route that I was expecting him to go. I thought it'd been really cool if they had her kind of be like a side villain, maybe teaming up with Michael Myers to kill some family members. But instead, they made her mute. They got rid of everything that the twist had done for Halloween 4 previously. And I thought that was really stupid. This movie is not very memorable. They killed off the sister very early on as well. And it's just a poor done movie. I really don't want to watch it again. Coming in at number 8 is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And I know that this movie has gained like a cult status. and a lot of people regard it as one of their favorite Halloween movies, and I appreciate the approach for this film. They wanted to do something different every year, but it really didn't pan out how they wanted it to. It was a poor movie in the box office, didn't really get the best reviews, and so they decided to scrap that idea and go back to Halloween 4. But Halloween 3 Season of the Witch tells a story of this mask company that wants to control kids on Halloween nights. It's a pretty cool idea for a movie and a pretty cool concept for creating like anthology Halloween movies, but it's not very memorable. I cannot tell you for the life of me the characters' names. I can tell you Jamie Lloyd and Laurie Strode, but I cannot tell you the characters' names from this movie. And that's about it. I like the idea behind this. Some pretty decent kills, but overall it's a very forgettable film that just didn't amount to what I think they wanted it to be. Really cool concept. I stood behind the idea, but it just didn't work how I wanted it to be. Coming at number 7 is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I still have not seen the director's cut. I've seen the theatrical version, so we're basing it off of that, what I've seen. I would love to see the director's cut eventually, but I have not. I think this is an interesting movie. It's much different from 4 and 5, and I like that Paul Rudd's in it. He's a little creepy though. One thing I do not like about this movie is that they killed Jamie off so early in this movie. She's older, and they get rid of her like she had nothing to do ever in any of the Halloween movies. So I thought that was an interesting take, and I didn't really like how they did that. I would have seen her maybe be in the whole movie and, you know, try to kill Michael Myers and maybe him eventually kill her at the end. I like the idea of Michael Myers having some powers. It kind of explains why he's so, like, invincible. Eventually they didn't keep that idea, but I like the route that they went with it, and they kind of explored some of his past. I thought it was an interesting story and kind of wrapping up that Thorn trilogy, but at the same time it does get a little boring throughout. The dialogue is very cheesy, and the acting is pretty bad, especially from Paul Rudd. Even though it's his first movie, we'll give him like a pass, but he becomes a better actor eventually. But this movie is just, it's bad in some parts. Sometimes it's forgettable, and sometimes it's a pretty good film. It's one I would watch again. Like I said, I want to watch the director's cut, see if it's any different. I heard it's doesn't make the film much better, but I still would like to check it out. Coming at number 6 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, we got this movie after Halloween 3. That did not work out how they wanted it to be, and so we got the 4th film, bringing back Dr. Sam Loomis and Michael Myers. No Laurie Strode this time, instead we get Jamie Lloyd, her niece. And I like the introduction of a new family member in here, and I love the twist at the end where she had gained the powers of Michael Myers and she was in the clown costume with the knife, and Dr. Sam Loomis is yelling no. Pretty cool twist to the movie, and I like that Jamie Lloyd is so young and so innocent in here, and she does a great job. Danielle Harris playing this young girl. She eventually comes back for the Rob Zombie movies as an older girl, but this one here, she does a really great job. She has a lot of baggage. She has a lot of things going on in her life, and I think they did a great job handling her character. It's a fun movie, great return for Michael Myers after Halloween 3. It does get a little cheesy at times, a little boring towards the middle half of the movie, but overall I think it's a very enjoyable film. Getting into the top 5, now we're getting to number 5, Halloween 2. I think this movie does a great job creating the atmosphere from the first one, having some really well-timed suspense. It does take away some tension, though, towards the end of the movie. What I liked about the first one is that you don't know where Michael Myers is, because Laurie Strode's in so many different places, you don't know where he may be. We know where Laurie Strode is. She's in the hospital, and we know where Michael Myers is. He's on his way to the hospital. So it kind of takes that tension away of where is Michael Myers. But it does have some suspense early on when Michael Myers is walking around after the events from the first film. It literally picks up after the first film, and he's kind of walking around Haddonfield, and then he's trying to work his way towards the hospital. Early on, I had some tension, but as soon as he got to the hospital, I kind of think he got rid of all that. Jamie Lee Curtis, once again, really great. Dr. Sam Loomis, awesome in this movie. Coming in at number 4 is Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Now, this was an interesting film, and when I think of the Halloween movies, I think them in little categories. Like, we have 1 and 2, then we have 3. 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8, and then the Rob Zombie ones, and now 11. So 7 and 8 ushered in a new era of Michael Myers movie. And it brought back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. She is now a headmistress, and she has a son, and he wants to celebrate Halloween because he really doesn't get to do that. And so he wants to have some fun with his girlfriend. And Michael Myers is headed to California to kill Laurie Strode. And when they meet together and they see each other through the window, it's a nice meetup between the two that we've, missed throughout the rest of the movies. It had some comedy because Scream came out previously, and it balanced comedic moments with some horror aspect as well. And so it had found that nice balance. I think some horror movies were trying to capitalize on that, and H2O tried to do that, and it worked. I thought it was a funny film, decent kills in here, decent storyline. No Sam Loomis because he had passed away. I really don't think Sam Loomis would have fit in here anyways, but I did enjoy this movie. Even though the mask was really bad, I thought it was still a fun film that I actually would like to check out again. Coming in at number 3, and I know this is probably where you're going to dislike this video and comment saying your list is bad, worst YouTuber ever, don't have an opinion, but it is my opinion. Let's be respectful. Rob Zombie's Halloween. I enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween. If you would have asked me to do this ranking video like 10 years ago, I would have said number 1 movie, Halloween, 2007, Rob Zombie. But it sits at number 3. And I do know it has its flaws. And I understand why people regard it as one of the worst. I understand that. It has more flaws present as an adult. I just watched it the other day and it's not as good as the first time I ever watched it. We had a little too much of Michael Myers as a kid. Yes, 45 minutes worth. That's a long time. Yes, it's very vulgar, and there's too many disturbing sexual scenes. A rape scene. Could have got rid of that. Could have got rid of certain scenes where he was a kid. They could have cut it down. But I do like exploring a younger Michael Myers. I do understand that, it makes him so sinister and menacing that you don't know what he's thinking about his past. But I did like the exploration of that. They could have cut a little bit out of that and maybe tie some certain scenes in together, and it would have been more solid. But I do like exploring that. But when he grows up and he returns to Haddonfield, I think they do a great job recreating certain scenes from the Halloween movie and having a really sinister vibe, a really grungy vibe for this movie. I think it works for the character. Tyler Mane is massive as Michael Myers. He's so intimidating, and it works for this character. I love the mask. Some scenes with Laurie Strode, she's not as the same as we expect her to be, and that's where Rob Zombie has an issue with directing this film, is that so many characters are just downright disgusting. Even some of the nicer characters like Laurie Strode and her friends, they have something mean to say about everything. And that's an issue with me for the film, is that everybody's so vulgar, and people are raping each other and people cuss every single time they can. I can look past that. It's a big issue though, but I do love the exploration of Michael Myers as a kid. They could have cut down to certain scenes. I do love the second and third act of the movie where he's at Haddonfield and he's killing people. It's a lot of fun. It's a very brutal film, and I understand why people don't like this movie, but I enjoyed it for the many times that I have seen it. Coming at number 2 is Halloween 2018, the newest one. It's a great return for Michael Myers. They got rid of all the movies I just previously talked about. None of those movies ever existed. It's just set 40 years after the events of the first one. Laurie Strode has prepared her house for the return of Michael Myers. And what I found interesting about this movie is that they show Michael Myers' face very early on. He's probably like 60 years old, and they show his face. I thought that was pretty cool. But when he put his mask on, oh, that was so awesome. And then he went after Laurie Strode. And it's a really interesting film. There were some character decisions that I found to be very questionable. They didn't really pan out like I wanted them to, and they just had no reason to have them, and nothing came of it. So I thought that was a bit head scratcher for me. But overall, I think some of the comedy worked in here. The kills were really awesome, and it ended in an awesome way. Laurie Strode was so cool in this movie. It was awesome to see the return of her character after 40 years from the first film and continuing that storyline. It's an interesting thing to get rid of all the films previously, but it worked out for them. So that leads me to the obvious first choice, the best movie of the series, and that is the original Halloween. Not only is it the best Halloween movie, it's one of my favorite horror films ever. The tension, the atmosphere, Michael Myers lurking through Haddonfield in the distance, and him creeping on people, and you hearing him breathe. It's just so terrifying, and watching it as an adult just a few weeks ago in the middle of the night, it's still as terrifying. It's still terrifying as the first time I ever seen it. The first time I ever saw it, I didn't watch half of it because I was so scared I had to turn it off. But it is a really terrifying film, and I think the best thing about this movie is the atmosphere. It feels like Halloween time, and it's creepy. And watching Michael Myers drive through Haddonfield and slowly walking through Haddonfield, stalking people, it makes it really believable, and that anybody could really do this, and that makes it so scary, is that this could be a real thing. And him going through the house in the nighttime on Halloween, trying to kill Laurie Strode and her friends, it's such a good movie, and I love Halloween. I don't think any other Halloween movie could recreate what this movie did. The tension, the suspense, it's so horrific. Everything about this movie, I just love it. The score is amazing, from John Carpenter directing, the usage of upfront scenes with things in the background popping up or looking from a certain point of view. His directing is so iconic in this movie. So there you guys have it, all 11 Halloween movies ranked from worst to best. How would you rank these movies? Leave your thoughts down below. So make sure to subscribe to my channel for more 13 Days of Halloween videos. I got a few more coming up. We're going to be talking about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the new Netflix show. Telling you guys my top 10 horror films. We're going to talk about Suspiria and possibly the new remake. We're also going to be talking about the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. I'm really excited to talk about those. Make sure to hit the bell notification down below so you guys don't miss any of those upcoming videos. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.